Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Hello and welcome to an undisclosed location. This is Murder Incorporated. I am Buddy.
And I'm Harley.
In Canada, the 51st state of the United States of America, during the early 90s, there was what seemed like an idyllic couple from the outside, but in reality, they were pure evil. The very same people you would trust to watch your children were raping, torturing, and murdering them. And with that, I'll leave it to you, Harley.
All right, thank you, buddy. That was amazing, as always.
Absolutely.
An utmost professional.
Of course, man. Anytime. Let's hear about these sadistic Mattel toys.
Yeah. All right, so let's start with Marilyn Bernardo, who, after having given birth to a son and a daughter, began seeing a former boyfriend.
Ooh, dun dun dun.
Who got her pregnant.
Ooh.
And she gave birth to Paul Kenneth Bernardo on August 27th, 1964. Kenneth Bernardo, her husband, tolerated his wife's affair and is listed as the biological father on Paul's birth certificate.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I think that he didn't really tolerate it as much as he didn't want anybody to know that his wife had sex with her ex-boyfriend and gotten pregnant.
Yeah, more than likely. Yep.
You know, I mean,
Yep.
in that situation, it's like if you're not going to leave her, you might as well pretend it's your kid.
Yeah, I agree.
So, Kenneth had his own difficulties, okay? He was abusive, right?
Mm-hmm.
To the whole, not really to Paul as much, but to his wife.
Okay.
He was abusive.
Was he abusive prior to the affair, or?
Yes, he was not a good man.
All right.
He was not, and you know why, buddy?
Why?
Because he hung out around the neighborhood at night, peeping into the windows of young women.
Oh, so he's a bit of a peeping Ken.
Yeah. And, if that wasn't bad enough, buddy, he started to rape his young daughter.
Oh, jeez.
Marilyn, okay, she was like not a good mother, okay? She would be in the room while he would be like, they would be on the couch, like watching TV, and he would be like groping his daughter, like underneath the blankets
Oh,
and
my
like,
God.
like right in front of her.
Yeah.
And then she would just be like,
Like
you
looking
know,
away like,
yeah.
like nothing's happening.
She's in total denial.
Wow. That poor kid.
So Marilyn was like, screw this, I'm moving to the basement. So she moves into the basement of their house and then just becomes like morbidly obese.
Uh-huh.
Like, you know, the people they have to like cut out of the house when they die.
Oh, jeez.
Like big.
Yeah. Yeah.
So her depression over the situation must have just been overwhelming.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Yeah, I can imagine.
She just gave up on life.
Yeah.
Completely gave up on life.
Oh, that's so sad.
She stopped taking care of the home and the children and just
Gave up?
gave up into her own little world in the basement.
Oh, man.
Paul would not talk as a child, so they thought something was wrong with him, but he had something wrong with like his lip,
Like
and so he had to have speech therapy.
Like a cleft lip?
Yeah, like cleft lip, yep.
Okay, yeah.
So then once he got that, he was fine. Because
Okay.
he was a smart kid. It's just they thought at first because he wouldn't talk, but it was just because of his lip.
Okay.
So once they got that figured out, you know, he was fine.
Yep.
Okay, he was very handsome. Like right from the beginning, that's one thing that people said is that
Yep.
he just caught your eye. Like he really was like a Ken doll.
Okay.
Like if you see pictures of him, which I'll post for everybody to see,
Okay.
he's very handsome. And he had many girlfriends growing up, okay?
Well, if he's a Ken doll, of course.
Yeah. And they spoke highly of him, and they said that he was a generous lover.
Ooh, okay.
Has anybody ever said that about you, buddy? You're a generous lover?
Of course, man. I am a generous lover.
Yes, buddy is a generous lover.
I'm just a generous of everything.
Yes, buddy is a generous person. I just agree with whatever you say. Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Paul really seemed like he was going to make something of himself. I mean, he did good in school. He tried hard. That's the thing. He really tried hard in school. And it seemed like he was going to make something of himself. He's highly intelligent. He worked hard. And he had after-school jobs. Like, he was like, you know, a normal, successful high school kid.
Okay.
He had a very good head for numbers. And people thought he was going to be like a future businessman.
Okay.
When Paul was 16, he got into an argument with his mom, and she told him, quote, "You are a bastard," and then showed him a picture of his real father.
Oh, really?
Mic drop.
Jeez.
I just put mic drop there.
Nice.
So, and he knew from as soon as he seen the picture, he's like, "Oh yeah, that's my dad."
Yeah.
He looked just like him.
Yeah. Wow. Wow, what a thing to drop on someone, you know?
Yeah, really. I've never been in an argument with my mom and be like, "You're a bastard." Okay.
And actually mean you're a bastard.
Yeah, and be like, "I have the proof right here. You look just like this man."
Yeah.
Like, that's really horrible. Like, it just goes to show her mental stability was just gone.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Nobody in their right mind would do that, like, if they loved their child.
That's horrible.
And this was devastating to Paul.
Yep.
I mean, he's 16 years old, so that's a long time to go thinking that.
That your dad is your dad, and then nope.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I got to give his dad credit, though, for as much of an asshole as he was to Marilyn. I mean, he took care of the family. He took care of a friggin' son that wasn't even his.
Yeah.
I mean, there's something to be said about that.
Not much, but I mean.
I mean, he was raping his daughter, now that I think about it. I just, like, totally forgot for a second that he was raping his daughter.
I'm not giving him much credit, dude. I'm definitely not giving him
never
much
mind,
credit.
never mind. I'm not giving him any credit. I totally forgot for a second that he was raping his daughter. Okay.
I was wondering where you're going there. I
Scratch
was like,
that.
I'm not giving him
No.
any credit. I don't care what he's doing.
I was wondering why you were, like, being so hesitant. Okay. All right.
Not a left matter here.
So, after he found out about this, he openly mocked and taunted his mother. He called her slob and a whore.
All right. He was kind of right on the head with those two things. So.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't lying. So, between his mom's infidelity and his father being, you know, a pervert, he hated both of his parents.
Yep, I could see why.
I think that was warranted.
Yep.
Paul's attitude in general, towards women in particular, changed dramatically for the worse after this.
Mm-hmm.
You see this a lot when a mother has been promiscuous and ends up in a divorce.
Yep.
That the person will end up hating women in general just because of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've seen this happen to friends in high school.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Sure.
after high school and a little bit of college, Paul started working at Amway, which, buddy, is not a pyramid scheme. Okay, I just want to. No, it's not. I know what you're thinking. Their financial plan is a trapezoid. Very different.
Oh, it's a trapezoid. Okay.
Very different from a pyramid scheme.
There's no top. There's no like tippy top. It's just a flat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very different from a pyramid.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Which made $9 billion last year. There's a lot of suckers out there, really.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, what? It's like, says it's not a pyramid scheme, yet a trapezoid is basically a pyramid without the top. I just want to say that for folks that don't know what a trapezoid is. Paul wasn't going to end up getting rich through working at Amway. But what he would learn is techniques to manipulate people and basically being a better psychopath in hiding.
Okay.
Shortly after leaving Amway, Paul studied at the University of Toronto. There, his sexual fantasies had developed a dark side.
Uh-oh.
Dun, dun, dun. So the way he liked to have sex, buddy, is, you know, some people like to lay your woman down and, you know, gently caress her. He was more into the, like, hold her down and forcefully anally rape her. A little bit different.
I thought he was a generous lover.
This was in high school. He's in college. This is college, Paul.
College changes people.
Yeah, okay.
Jeez, dude, that's rough.
He took philosophy, and it changed him.
Oh, man, that's horrible.
He's just the type of person that they find women that are submissive,
Okay.
and then they take advantage of it.
Yeah.
They find you become what that woman is missing,
Yeah.
and then you take advantage of it.
Well, I mean, he had the, obviously he looked like, you know, the typical, did he look like a jock?
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked like a jock. So he obviously looked really good. He could probably get any woman that he wanted. So he could probably get that woman to do basically anything that he wanted.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So he probably had a lot of opportunity to do whatever he wanted with women.
Yeah, he did definitely.
So.
And he also began beating up women at this time.
Oh, great.
And many women came forward to publicly attest to this.
Yeah.
So this is not hearsay, I mean, he did do this.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that somebody that young just is, like, really that evil. It's really crazy, you know?
That's horrible. How old is he right now?
I mean, he's got to be 21.
Yeah.
You know, very
in
young.
college, so he's pretty young, yeah.
None of these women in college would scratch the itch for him, though, that he so badly needed.
No.
Not yet.
Uh-oh.
After graduating, he got a job at an accounting firm, a very prestigious accounting firm.
Not Amway?
Not Amway. Paul seemed to be on his way to a life of good fortune and success. This will not be the case, let me tell you right now.
Yeah, I got a feeling that, you know, Ken's not going nowhere.
Because at this point, he says, you know what? I got the job. I'm going to start raping women.
No, great.
This is where it really goes downhill.
Oh, okay.
In May 1987, he followed a young woman home and then right in her front yard, raped her
Are you kidding me?
for 30 minutes.
Jeez.
Violently, anally raping her, forcing her to call herself horrible names.
Are you kidding me?
Like, he would make her be like, I'm a whore, I'm a slut, I deserve this.
Jesus.
I mean, I'm not trying to be too graphic here, people, but rape is bad enough, but to be forcefully anally raped,
Oh my God.
imagine what that entails. It's
Yeah.
very, very violent.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And this would be his MO for his entire raping career.
That's horrible.
Paul Bernardo attempted his second rape, which was unsuccessful. I'm going to skip around here to different rapes because there's so many of them. And they're basically, there's no names of any of these women. So it's
Okay.
basically the same thing over and over and over again. So I'm going to do the highlights.
Okay.
I'll give you the highlights.
Joy, the highlights of rape.
Okay, so his third rape attempt was unsuccessful. Although he beat the young woman up. He did not continue to rape because she fought back. So good for her.
Good for her, yeah, but he likes them easy and submissive, I guess.
Yeah, definitely, buddy, definitely. So in October 1987, Buddy's out trick-or-treating in the mean streets of wherever in Pennsylvania Buddy's come from. And Paul Bernardo's at a bar with his friends when he meets Carla Homolka. Instant chemistry, everybody said. Instant chemistry between these two.
Okay.
That same night, they ended up hooking up in the hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
The nightmare / fairy tale that would be their relationship was just beginning.
So here's where we meet Barbie, huh?
This is where we meet Barbie.
Okay.
Let's talk a little bit about Barbie, this despicable human being. Carla was born May 4th, 1970, in Ontario. She had a Czech father, Czechoslovakian father, who was a traveling salesman. And he was pretty successful, you know, like middle-class family.
Okay.
Carla was described as a bright child with an IQ of 134.
Oh, well.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Which will be important to know later.
Okay.
So she was also described as a good kid, a pleasant kid to be around. One thing that I found that was one time, her and her best friend made a parachute for a hamster, and then Carla threw him out the window.
Jeez.
Which I thought about doing, not with a hamster, but I thought about doing that with a pillowcase when I was a kid. You know, I remember vividly like thinking about it. I never did it, but I always thought it would work. But
With a hamster? With
no, just like using a sheet or something, you know, and making
Jumping out with
making our own.
yeah. I'm balling.
I never did it, but
I mean, I always did it with Army guys, but they always had, you know, the actual parachutes where you throw them out.
yeah, I remember those. Those are sweet.
Yeah.
I do remember those. Those are awesome.
Yep.
Wrap it around and then you can throw it.
Throw them out.
I do remember those.
those. Talking about Mattel toys here.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was Mattel, but
Sponsored by Mattel.
not really.
Not really.
We will take that sponsorship, Mattel,
Yes.
if you're listening.
Call us. You can email us, Mattel.
At murderincorporatedpod@gmail.com
Or Twitter us at.
murderinkpod.
Or you know what? If you want to see some interesting stuff, Mattel on Instagram, go to Murder Incorporated Pod.
Yeah. You know, we even got some YouTube stuff, too.
Yes, we do. So, the hamster died, needless to say.
Oh, yeah.
So the poor Fluffy, he was loved by all. You know, he had a lot of friends in the neighborhood.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he died. So later, you know, the normal thing to do is what, buddy?
No.
You wait a couple weeks and you dig up the hamster.
Oh,
right?
yeah. I do that with all my dead pets.
That's what Carla wanted to do. And her friend said she just stood there. She wanted to see how the body decayed.
I mean, I guess I can understand that if you wanted to be like I don't know, if you're interested in decomposition or something. Like, I could see the science behind it. Maybe a little Victor Frankenstein here, but I don't know.
It's like, yeah, like if you look at just that isolated incident, it's like, not a big deal. You know what I mean? But when you know this person goes on to be like a horrible serial rapist and killer, it's like, oh, this was just a sign of things to come.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
This started her life. She had a lifelong obsession with death and seeing death and her love of animals.
Are you sure it's love?
No, she really did love animals.
Oh, okay.
She became a vet tech.
Oh, really?
She started reading Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew mysteries at the age of 12.
Oh, so she was interested in the, I don't know if they were murder cases. They were more of
like crime books.
crime books, yeah.
She was obsessed with crime.
Okay.
As she grew up, she became like harsher in her ways, and she like would enjoy scaring her friends. She also became like wanted to be a witch,
Oh.
and she
Like
would try-
Wiccan?
yeah,
Or-
like a Wiccan, like that.
Yep.
She's basically just abutting psychopath stuff until she meets Paul. I mean, this is what she's up to. Okay, just imagine a psychopath kid, and then she meets Paul.
Yeah. Match made in hell.
Speaking of Paul, December 1987, while in the relationship with Carla, Paul commits his fourth rape
Good old Paul.
against a 15-year-old.
Oh, jeez.
This rape lasted an hour, buddy.
Oh, my God. Oh.
This person really, to this day, must be like, I just can't imagine.
Yeah. How do you live with yourself after something like that?
15 years old is so young.
Poor girl.
Like, you're getting your first boyfriend, you know what I mean? You're like kissing a guy for the first time, and then all of a sudden you're getting viciously, anally raped.
Yeah, your innocence is just ripped away from you by this horrible man. That poor girl.
Yeah, it is horrible. None of these women, I could find their names. I mean, they must just be so traumatized.
Yeah, I mean, everything goes. My heart goes out to all these women.
100%.
Oh my God.
100%. I can't even imagine. Like, we both have daughters,
Yeah.
and this is like truly the nightmare. Truly the nightmare when your daughters leave the house.
Absolutely.
The following day, the Toronto Police Service issued a warning to women in Scarborough traveling alone at night. They said, beware, especially near bus stops.
Oh, really?
So this was like his hunting grounds. He would see somebody on the bus, follow them home, and then rape them.
So we're seeing like public bus stops, as in
Yeah.
not like school bus stops.
No, not school bus stops.
Okay.
December 23rd, 1987. So this is pretty quickly after.
Yeah.
Bernardo commits his fourth rape.
Wait, I thought that was his fourth rape.
Or fifth rape, sorry.
Okay. You want to start that again and just say?
Yeah. December 23rd, 1987. Bernardo committed his fifth rape. During this attack, Bernardo raped the 17-year-old at knife point. It was at this point he began to be referred to as the Scarborough rapist.
Okay.
October 4th, 1988. Bernardo attempted a seventh rape. His intended victim fought him off, but he stabbed her twice in the thigh
Oh, wow.
and the buttocks.
Oh, jeez.
Not very deep, but it required 12 stitches, so I don't know how deep that is, you know, but it's a stab wound. I mean,
exactly.
I just can't imagine. Like, I really, every time I'm reading this, like, this is like the 80th time I've read this, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this is unbelievable,
Yeah.
buddy. Like, it really is unbelievable, like, the damage he's doing in this area to these women. I mean, this is not New York City. I mean, everybody knew about this.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it is a bigger metropolitan area, but it's not New York City. I mean, these people were terrified, buddy.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So November 17th, 1988, Metro Police formed a special task force dedicated to capturing the Scarborough rapist.
All right, good.
So that's good. August 15th, 1989, Bernardo commits his eighth rape. And this time it was against a 22-year-old woman.
Oh, wow. This is almost a year later, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is also a couple rapes later. He had stalked her the previous night from outside her window of her apartment. Then he waited for her to arrive home. This particular vicious attack lasted 2 hours, buddy.
Oh, my God. the hell's wrong with this guy?
He couldn't get enough of it. Like, it's always about control for the rapists.
Yeah.
But for him, he was a sadistic rapist. It was about seeing the pain. Whatever he could do to humiliate these women, to degrade them, that's what he got off on.
It's like he just hated women so much that he just wanted to just torture these innocent women.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He had no respect for these women.
So where was Barbie when he was doing all these rapes? Because he's with her, right?
Yeah, he's with her. They're just living their best life. She, at this point, does not know, supposedly.
Okay.
Does not know that he's a Scarborough rapist.
Okay.
She knows he's into some kinky stuff.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And, but the thing is that whatever he asked her to do, she was down for.
Yeah.
She was completely submissive to him. Whatever he was into, whatever sexual kinks he wanted to do, she never said no. It was like his perfect woman.
Yeah.
May 26th, 1990, Bernardo commits his 11th rape.
Jeez.
11th known rape.
Right.
So I'm sure there's more.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Every rape, I don't know what it is, but it's like only like 1 in 5 rapes is even reported. So
Yeah, that's a sad statistic, you know.
I mean, that really is. Like, let's talk about that for a minute, because that's so sad that women would be scared to come forward because A, they don't think it's going to happen.
Yep.
That the guy is just not going to be prosecuted.
Yep.
Or B, that he will be prosecuted, and then they're going to have to go through cross-examination.
Yeah, and they gotta be humiliated over it and just have to relive it essentially.
Exactly.
You know,
be reviolated.
Yeah. They just kind of want to forget it when it shouldn't be that way. You know.
No.
That's tragic.
It's a situation where there's no gentle way to go about it for the victim, because you need the victim to prosecute that crime.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't prosecute a rapist without the victim. There's no crime there.
No, I mean, any good defense attorney would tear that apart.
Yep.
So it's like they have to relive it in order to get justice. It's so unfair.
Mm-hmm.
But this time, buddy, she got a good look at him. Where before it was always from behind.
Oh, really?
She got a very good look at him.
Okay.
And 2 days later, the police published a photo of him in all the newspapers around there.
Oh.
Very, very good photo. If you see this photo, it's like, I wouldn't say dead on.
Yeah.
But like if you were a friend of his or you'd be like, that kind of looks like Paul. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
So they were receiving many tips about Paul.
All right.
Ex-girlfriends that seen the picture and thought, he was into violent sex, and now this guy that kind of looks like him is raping women. I better call.
Yeah.
So this was not like 1 or 2 people that called. It was like his friends were calling.
Oh, really?
Like people, because he bragged about not raping women, but how he would violently overtake women sexually.
Oh, yeah. So things
Who's
are
that
adding
guy?
up. Things are adding up then.
Yep. So he was interviewed by 2 police detectives.
Okay.
And Jennifer Galligan had gone to the police, an ex-girlfriend, several times about Paul regarding his brutal rape of her, his physical abuse of her, and his threats to do her even more harm.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There were coincidences which tied Bernardo to the rapes also.
Okay.
They were going on at the same time, okay? The rapist drove a white Capri, and so did Bernardo.
Mm-hmm.
Bernardo lived in the vicinity where the rapes took place. A report was filed. Nothing came of it.
Really?
Yeah. They interviewed him, like briefly interviewed him, and he's like an accountant. You know, he's doing good for himself. He's white. That helps. He looked, you know what I mean? Like,
he just had all the charm. He had everything going for him.
There is studies that have been done. If you are a good-looking person, you could get away with murder.
Yeah, that's
a good-looking white person.
Yeah, yep. That's how it works.
If he had been some broke black guy, even if he hadn't done it, you know, if they interviewed him, they'd be more.
Yeah.
But it's like psychologically, even if you are trying to do your best as a police officer, you're thrown off by somebody that's very charming and very good-looking.
That's
You
implicit.
think, why would he need to rape?
Yeah, that's implicit bias.
Yeah.
We all have it in it. It's so sad.
It's sad, very sad for these women, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's horrible.
And it's very sad for what's up to come.
All right.
So between May and September 1990, the police had submitted more than 100 DNA samples. And this is at the very infancy of DNA.
Yeah, I was going to say this is well before.
They just started using DNA in 1989.
Yeah.
I think. I'm almost positive. It was 1989. So it was only a year later. It's not like now where it's like 2 days later, it takes weeks and weeks just to test one sample.
Yeah. Yep.
So you have 100. So he's one of 100 or if it was more than 100, it was like 130
Yep. Okay.
samples to go through before they would even, get a hit. And he was like so charming, they didn't put a rush on it. They're just like, put him with the rest.
Yeah, that's so sad, even though all the evidence is obviously on this guy.
Yeah. He was also called in by his best friend, okay, Alex Smirnis.
Okay.
But there was a reward out. And the Smirnis guy came off as like sketchy and just wanting the reward.
Oh, really?
So they didn't even take him seriously.
Really?
If they had taken him seriously, like, he told them how he talked about how he liked rough anal sex. It's like they just didn't, they were totally buying whatever Paul was feeding them.
Oh, my God.
But they did interview him. I mean, they interviewed him. The interview lasted about a half an hour. And they asked Bernardo why he thought he was being investigated for the rapes. He said, because I look like the composite. I mean, I do. But he was a well-educated, well-adjusted, congenial young man. And he couldn't be responsible for these vicious attacks.
Of course not. He just had it all going for him. They didn't want to ruin his life. Are you kidding me?
Exactly. And this guy, he's just out for the reward, they thought.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, I'm not going to hate on the cops because it's not like they caught him red-handed and let him go.
Right.
I mean, he's one of many people that was getting called on.
It's all circumstantial right now, so they got nothing.
And he's one of many people that is in the same situation. It's not like he's their only suspect.
Right.
He's one of hundreds, so it's like...
Yeah.
At this point, I'm not going to hate on him. I will hate on him later, but I'm not going to hate on him as much
Okay.
now.
All right.
So now, Carla's like working at a pet shop. She befriends a girl, a 15-year-old, Jane Doe. This girl's never...
Okay.
Does not want her name released, so I'm just going to call her Jane Doe.
Okay.
For now.
Yeah, absolutely.
She invited her over for a girls' night out. And after a nice night of shopping and dining, Carla took Jane Doe to their apartment.
Oh, no.
Give her alcohol with Halcyon in it that she stole from her work.
Jeez.
Halcyon is like a sedative that they use for, they're doing like surgery on an animal.
Yeah.
They'll give it to an animal that's being monitored.
Yeah.
And the amount is exact, where she's just giving this girl
Oh, my God.
this Halcyon to knock her out. So after Jane Doe lost consciousness, Carla called Bernardo to tell him she had a surprise wedding gift ready for him.
Oh, my God.
So they together undressed the girl, who was a virgin,
Oh, no.
and Paul videotaped Carla as she raped the girl before Bernardo vaginally and anally penetrated her.
God. That poor girl.
I just can't even imagine the situation.
Oh, my God.
The next morning, Jane Doe woke up. She was nauseous, but she believed her vomiting was just due to drinking too much for the first time. She had no idea that she had been raped.
Are you kidding
Thank
me?
God, actually, probably. Yeah, she had no idea.
She didn't even know?
I don't know how, but she had no idea.
I want to cry right now.
I know, it's horrible. She was invited back in August to spend the night. And they thought they were going to do this all over again. She stopped breathing during it. Homolka called 911 for help, but then called back to say, oh, everything's all right now.
Oh, really?
So the emergency crew was recalled without a follow-up.
Really?
Nothing. Like, if you accidentally call 911, like, you could possibly nowadays get a copper at your house.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they just, okay, everything's fine. Everything's fine.
I don't know how it is in Canada, though.
I don't know either. I mean, I would imagine it's got to be about the
probably
same.
the
As they
same
take it
thing, yeah.
seriously. Not this time. So Jane Doe visited the couple one more time on December 22nd, 1992. This time, Carla pressured her to have sex with Bernardo.
Oh, really?
Well, she was awake this time. But she did end up giving him head. But then she left. She got like upset. She like started to give him head and they got like emotional. But they were pressuring her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, come on, just touch it. That type of thing.
Yeah.
Being very, very sneaky. And
Man.
these are evil people.
Yeah.
And So by 1990, Paul was spending a lot of time at the Homolka family home. And they liked him very much.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, he was the perfect man for her daughter.
Yeah, of course.
You know, he had a
Barbie and
good
Ken.
job. Yeah, Barbie and Ken. He was engaged to, their daughter. But he flirted constantly with her younger sister. And he hadn't told them that he lost his job as an accountant.
Oh, really?
So now to make money, instead of being a successful accountant, he's smuggling cigarettes to the U.S. border.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Smuggling? Wait. They're the 51st state, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't know what the heck's going on here. This might have been a little bit before they became the 51st state.
That's right.
This is only 1990, buddy.
Gotcha.
So he had become obsessed.
We love you, Canada, just
Yes,
so you
we
know.
do love Canada. But we got to bust your chops because we have no lives, so it makes us laugh.
We're just envious of you, that's all.
Yeah, really, we really are too. He had become obsessed with Tammy Homolka, her younger sister. He would be perving at her through her window, entering her room at night while she was asleep and masturbating.
Really?
Yeah.
Sick man.
Carla helped him by breaking the blinds in her sister's window to allow Paul a better chance at catching a peep.
Jeez. What a sick couple.
Yeah, it's really, insane, isn't it?
Yeah.
In July, Paul took Tammy, across the border to get beer for a party. While there, Bernardo told his friends and fiance, yeah, we got drunk and made out a little bit. Unbelievable.
Wow.
I mean, this guy is really he's a pedophile, he's a rapist. I mean, he's like everything bad you could be.
Yeah. He hasn't crossed the line to murder yet.
Oh, no, not yet. July 24th, 1990. Carla laced spaghetti sauce with crushed up Valium she stole from her work. The Martindale Animal Clinic. She served dinner to her sister, who soon lost consciousness.
Oh, jeez.
So Bernardo began to rape Tammy while Carla watched.
Her own sister.
Yeah.
Her own sister.
So, buddy, it gets better, though. I mean, they straighten out, Oh, wait, no, actually, 6 months before their 1991 wedding. Carla Homolka stole the anesthetic drug halothane from the clinic on December 23rd, 1990.
Don't they keep their drugs locked up? Like, what is wrong with this shop?
I have no idea. I mean, she was a trusted person, though. It's not like
Yeah, I guess you're right.
she's some drug addict on the streets trying to get stuff. She's like nobody knows that she's evil.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Homolka and Bernardo administered sleeping pills to the 15-year-old in a rum and eggnog cocktail. After Tammy was unconscious, Homolka and Bernardo undressed her. Carla applied a halothane-soaked cloth to her sister's nose. So she douses this in halothane, this cloth, just sets it on her nose and mouth to keep her unconscious so that she'll keep breathing it in and keep unconscious while they both rape her.
Oh, my God.
You know what the best part is? They're like, why not videotape it?
Oh, why not, right? Yeah, that's what you do with all your rapes, right?
Especially if it's your sister.
Yeah.
Especially, you got to get that on tape.
You need memories, man. You
Yeah.
need memories with your family.
I mean,
Wow.
some people take videotapes of my kid's first walk,
Yeah, your family
Christmas
vacation.
present,
Yeah.
vacations. But they wanted to get this on video instead. So, you know what? Carla's just a nice lady. You know what I mean? She's like, I'm not a virgin, which bothered Paul.
Oh,
Because
really?
he loved virgins. His dream, he said, was to have a virgin farm, where at any time he could just grab a virgin and pop her cherry. That was his dream. Yes, I know. It's horrible. So she could give Tammy's virginity to Bernardo for Christmas. Bernardo was disappointed, because he wasn't Carla's first. With Tammy's parents sleeping upstairs, the pair filmed themselves as they raped her in the basement.
Oh, my God.
Tammy began to vomit and started to aspirate. So they supposedly tried to revive her and then called 911. But what do they do first, buddy? They got to hide the evidence. So they dress Tammy, move her into a bedroom, and then call 911.
Oh, my God.
A few hours later, Tammy Homolka was pronounced dead at St. Catherine's General Hospital at 15 years old.
Oh, my God.
Unbelievable, buddy. Unbelievable.
So she killed her own sister.
2 days before Christmas, she killed her own sister. After raping her on tape. So despite Carla and Paul's very odd behavior, okay, so this I do blame every single person involved, okay? They get back from the hospital. What do they start doing? Cleaning up the evidence in the middle of the night. The parents don't think anything of this. They're doing laundry, vacuuming in the middle of the night. And
after their sister just died.
Yeah. And there's a chemical burn on Tammy's face.
What?
Niagara Regional Coroner and the Homolka family accepted that she had just drank too much and aspirated into her lungs and died. And then they said, well, what's this burn on her face? Paul said, well, I dragged her to the bed. What? And that's what caused it. It must be a rug burn.
Why did he drag her to the bed?
And exactly. It makes no sense. But they bought it. I mean, I can understand the parents buying it because they're like, nobody wants to believe that. In your head, that would never be in your head that.
I mean, the plausible deniability, I guess.
But not even just that,
but just not wanting to believe that your kid could be doing this
to your other kid.
To your other kid, absolutely. But not the police. No.
And they have to have something like this. They have to have 2 coroner's reports. So they both said, well, the one was a little suspicious. But then Paul answered his question about the burn, so he's like, okay, accidental. Happens all the time to kids.
Yeah, that happens all the time. No.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Oh, my God, dude.
The pair subsequently filmed themselves with Carla wearing Tammy's clothing and pretending to be her as he raped her.
What the hell is wrong with these people?
They also, at this time, I might not have mentioned this before. I think I did, but they were living in the house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I didn't mention it, but at this time, they moved out of the Homolka house to a rented Port DeLuise bungalow because they didn't want them in the house. They didn't want Paul in the house while they were grieving. I don't know if they knew something was up or what, but
yeah,
like at the funeral, he's like just staring at her in the casket and like rubbing her arm. And people were like, what the hell? Like, people thought it was weird. So I think that had something to do with why they're like, maybe it's not good Paul is staying here while we're grieving. I'm guessing. But,
oh, my God.
It's a little creepy.
Poor family.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Can't imagine knowing that your one child that you love and raise and cherish could do this to your other child that you love and raise and cherish.
Oh, man. I'm disturbed right now, man.
I told you would be. This is messed up.
Yeah. I'm sorry, listeners. I hope you're having a good time.
Early in the morning on June 15th, 1991, Bernardo took a detour through Burlington. That's halfway between Toronto and St. Catharines. And he would steal license plates because to like get across the border, he would steal license plates so that it wouldn't be like the same license plate number popping up going across the border for the cigarette smuggling scheme.
Okay.
This is where he found Leslie Mahaffey.
Okay.
14-year-old.
Oh, my God.
Had missed her curfew after attending a funeral and was locked out of her house.
Oh, jeez.
The worst part is she called her other friend to ask if she could come there and stay the night because her parents had locked the doors. She couldn't get in.
Yeah.
Her friend's like, no, it's too late. My parents will be mad.
Oh, no.
So she's like, I'll go back and wake up my parents then.
Oh, no.
And that's when he got her.
Oh.
So Paul approaches her and tells her that he was just looking to breaking into a neighbor's house. That's why he's like around or whatever.
He was looking to break into another house?
He's really stealing license plates.
Yeah.
And unfazed, she asked if he had a cigarette. And as he led her to the car, he wrapped a sweatshirt around her face, forcing her into the car, and drove her to Port DeLuise, where they lived. Then he informed Homolka that they had a playmate. This is horrible, buddy. Bernardo and Homolka subsequently videotaped themselves torturing and sexually abusing Mahaffey, all while listening to Bob Marley and David Bowie.
Oh man. Now I can't. Now I can't even listen to those two. I love Bowie.
That's exactly what I was thinking when I read this.
I love Bowie.
At one point, Bernardo said, "You're doing a good job, Leslie, a damn good job. The next 2 hours are going to determine what I do to you. Right now, you're scoring perfect."
What a sick man.
And on videotape, he's torturing these women, and then he's urinating on them and threatening to defecate on them.
Oh
and
my
he actually
God.
stands over him trying to defecate on him.
What is wrong with this guy?
Yeah, it's horrible. Mahaffey's crying out in pain, just begging Bernardo to stop, while he's sodomizing her, and her hands are bound with twine. Later, because Mahaffey knew, like, if this blindfold falls off and I see them, I'm dead. She just knew it. So her blindfold's like coming off, and she's like, "Oh, please put the blindfold back on. Put it back up so it doesn't fall off." You know.
Yeah, yeah. She's smart at least.
The following day, Bernardo claimed Carla fed her a lethal dose of Halcyon.
Mm-hmm.
Carla claims that Bernardo strangled her. The pair put her body into their basement. Either way, she ended up dead.
Yeah. Jeez. This is a tough one, man.
Yeah, it was a tough one. And then, in the basement, they dismember Mahaffey.
Oh, jeez.
They go to the store and buy cement, dozens of bags of cement. And they put each of her parts of her body, they cut the legs, the arms, the chest, the head off,
Mm-hmm.
and then encase them in cement. Okay? And the receipts for this would come back and bite him later. Bernardo used his grandfather's circular saw to cut up the body. They made numerous attempts to dump these cement blocks in Lake Gibson, but they made them too big, where one of them weighed 200 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And Carla's not a big girl. She's like a Barbie girl.
Yeah, they couldn't move him.
Paul's a pretty big guy, though. He's probably like 6'2", I'd imagine, but not big, just tall.
Yeah.
He was like kind of lengthy, or,
Yeah, not able to move that much.
200 pounds is a freaking lot, even
Yeah.
for a big person to lift and
Yeah.
to be able to throw into the water.
Yeah, they might as well just leave the body.
Well, that's exactly what they do, buddy. They leave the cement by the shore, the piece that was too big. Where a father and son are on a nice fishing expedition, and they discover it on June 29th, 1991. Leslie Mahaffey's dental records were used to identify her.
Wow.
On the afternoon of April 16th, 1992, buddy, Bernardo and Homolka were driving through St. Catharines to look for potential victims. It was after school hours on the day before Good Friday. As they passed Holy Cross Secondary School, they spotted Kristen French, a 15-year-old, walk into her house.
Jeez.
The couple pulled into the parking lot nearby, and Homolka got out of the car, pretending to need assistance with like a map, being like, "Oh, can you help me with directions?"
Mm-hmm.
And as French is looking at the map, Paul grabs her from behind with a knife and forces her into the front seat of the car.
Oh, jeez.
So from in the back seat, Carla's like pulling her hair down, keeping her in the seat. Can you imagine the scene?
Yeah.
15 years old.
Yeah, that's horrible.
I can't even imagine this. Kristen took the same route home every day, taking about 15 minutes. Soon after she should have been home, her parents became convinced that she had met with foul play.
Yeah.
Like immediately, that feeling that some parents get. Like
Yeah, it's that instinct.
within 24 hours, Niagara Regional Police, the NRP, had assembled a team and searched the area.
Mm-hmm.
They searched everywhere. They did a really good job. And this is so sad. And they found several witnesses who had seen the abduction from different aspects,
Oh, really?
thus giving the police a pretty clear picture that she was taken.
Mm-hmm.
In addition, one of Kristen's shoes was recovered from the parking lot.
Oh, really?
It made it clear that it was an abduction.
Yeah.
This is like every parent's nightmare.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really is every parent's nightmare.
Oh, my God.
I just can't imagine the scene where he forces her into the car and then Carla is grabbing her hair. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
just
terrifying.
terrifying. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Over the 3 days of Easter weekend, it's like this stuff always happens on the holidays with these two.
It's like their little gift to them, you know?
Paul and Carla videotaped themselves as they tortured, raped, urinated on, and sodomized Kristen French,
Oh, my God.
forcing her to drink large quantities of alcohol to behave submissively to Paul. At Paul Bernardo's trial, the prosecutor said that Bernardo always intended to kill her because she was never blindfolded and was capable of identifying her captors. This is the deal, okay? When it comes down to it and they're in trial, Paul wants to say that Carla killed him. Carla wants to say that he killed him. The thing is that he never killed anybody till he got with Carla.
Yeah, that is true.
Carla
he was just
talked.
a rapist.
Yeah, Carla talked about with her friends before she was even with Paul how she'd love to draw a million little dots on a body, on a person, then use a knife to connect the dots, and then pour vinegar on the body.
Really?
I mean, she was sick before she ever even met him.
So she was the murderer, he was the rapist.
I mean, we don't know, I think.
Yeah.
I think that he was definitely into the rape and the torture and all of that. I'm not trying to,
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
But she 100%, I think, is the reason that these women died.
Probably. You're
Because
probably right.
from her point of view also, it's like, oh, now you're having sex with my man, even if it is rape, you must die.
Yeah, of course. A little bit of jealousy there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The following day, these monsters murdered Kristen French before going to the Homolkas for Easter dinner.
Jeez. How can you sit with your family anyway after that? Like,
I have no idea. That's just psychopaths. That is a true psychopathic mind that compartmentalizes a situation and just goes for Easter dinner.
yeah, just forgets all the evil stuff you did, and you can just sit down and have dinner with your family and the people you supposedly love. And
Unbelievable. Bernardo says that Carla beat her with a rubber mallet because she tried to escape, and that Kristen ended up being strangled on a noose tied around her neck and secured to a hope chest.
jeez.
Immediately, Carla went to fix her hair.
Gotta look like Barbie again.
Homolka testified at her trial that Bernardo had strangled French for exactly 7 minutes while she watched.
Wow.
So Kristen French's nude body was found in a ditch on April 30th, 1992.
Wow.
Not far from the cemetery where Leslie Mahaffey's body is buried.
Really?
The body had been washed and the hair had been cut off. It was originally thought that the hair was removed as a trophy, but really it was to hinder identification.
Really?
Yeah, they thought that if they cut off the hair, I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, but that's what they said later.
Okay.
Now that Carla and Paul were living and murdering in St. Catharines, the police investigation centered in Niagara Falls area.
Okay.
After the death of Kristen French, the Ontario government formed the Green Ribbon Task Force.
Okay.
Hotlines and a base of operations were set, and they asked for a profile by the American FBI. And when Kristen French was abducted, a woman remembers seeing a struggle going on at the car at the scene. This is important. While she was not familiar with various, you know how women are, they don't know cars. Okay, she thought it was a Camaro.
Okay.
So they began looking for Camaros. They put it on TV that we're looking for a Camaro.
It wasn't a Camaro.
It wasn't a Camaro. Meanwhile, Bernardo's name surfaced once again from the many tips that police received. But this is a different police force, you understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they went to Paul's house for a chat. Paul was very gracious and polite during the interview.
Good old charming Ken.
Yeah, he admitted, yes, I was a suspect in the Scarborough rapes because I looked like the picture. What do you want from me? The police noted that Paul was very clean-cut and good-looking, and that he was intelligent and cooperating. That's a quote. They also said that he drives a Nissan, which looks nothing like a Camaro.
A Nissan and a Camaro, those are way too different.
And there's also a thing where people trust a married man more than they would an unmarried man.
Yeah.
He has a wife, you know, like...
Why would he rape anyone? Why would he murder anyone? Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Wow.
Nevertheless, okay, I got to give him some credit here. The two policemen tried to contact Steve Irwin, who was the detective in Toronto, to ask about the results of the inquiry into the Scarborough rapist. Took him 8 days to respond, and he explained that final testing of Bernardo's blood and saliva samples had not been done. Thus, technically,
Really?
Bernardo had not been cleared as a suspect.
And how many years has passed?
It's been like a year and a half.
Yeah.
But I mean, it takes a long time. At this time, it does take a long time.
Yeah.
But it's like, he could have been the 99th one they were going to test. It wasn't in any certain order.
Yeah, I hear you, but
It's so tragic.
It's tragic, and there's so much evidence that pointed towards him. You know, it's like he should have been number one to test.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want a Monday morning quarterback, whatever they call it. But come on, I mean, twice this guy's come up.
Yeah.
Both areas he lived in, there's freaking rapes going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Then people end up murdering. Everybody he knows is calling about him, saying he's a freaking violent sexual offender.
Yeah, it's like time to connect the dots. Come on.
I mean, really. My freaking 4-year-old daughter could have solved this case. I mean,
Yep.
Jesus. But there is some hope, buddy.
Well, that's good. At least we got some hope.
Finally, February 1993. Several years after the blood samples had been taken from Paul, the forensic laboratory in Toronto finally got around to analyzing his blood.
Finally.
The test proved conclusively that Paul had raped the 3 women from whom they had semen samples.
Finally.
And then, when he goes to put him under surveillance, find out that he's been, charged with an assault charge by his wife, Carla.
Really?
He's already in custody.
Oh, wow.
Good thing.
Huh.
So this is when Paul was like, things were really escalating, okay, between him and Carla.
Okay.
These murders are happening.
Uh-huh.
He becomes very violent with her.
Okay.
He hits her over the back of the head. Just imagine this. With a flashlight so hard that her brain hits her eye sockets and gives her black eyes from the inside out.
Oh, my God.
I mean, I can't even imagine that. You don't even see that in like football games, guys getting hit.
Oh.
So he must have really smashed her.
Yeah.
So she goes to the hospital, obviously. You know,
Yep.
and she presses charges.
Mm-hmm.
So he's arrested.
I'm surprised she pressed charges. I mean, with all the stuff that they've done.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know. Like, I think she was really scared of him.
Yeah.
Regardless of the insane things that Carla put up with from Paul, physically abusing her pushed her to her limit.
Yeah. Well.
Because it's like, yes, we're evil together. We're supposed to do evil upon others, not each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that was kind of her.
Yeah, that was her thought process, I guess.
I mean, I'm guessing. You know, I'm not no expert, but she didn't leave him still. In January, though, in 1993, her parents intervened, and they persuaded her to come home, you know, get away from him.
Mm-hmm.
The Niagara police were brought into the situation and took Carla to the hospital.
Okay.
This was all before, you know, that Toronto had the forensic evidence to convict Paul as a Scarborough rapist.
Yeah.
In early February now, the police investigation of Paul intensified. Both the Toronto police and the Ontario Green Ribbon Task Force wanted to interview Carla.
Okay.
They also wanted to fingerprint her and question her about a Mickey Mouse watch that she was wearing. It was very similar to the one Kristen French was wearing when she was taken.
Really? Interesting.
Isn't that just creepy? Like, it's like one of those scenes in a movie where you're like, the detective's like, oh my God, it's them. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if that really happened, but I mean, it's got to be like
Yeah, that's a little eerie.
eerie. That's the word I was looking for. Eerie. It's so eerie.
Yeah.
Initially, several Toronto detectives interviewed Carla for 5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now they're questioning her. You got to think about this. She's separated from Paul now.
Mm-hmm.
She's away from that situation. But they're questioning her, and in her head, she's like, oh, they're tying together the Scarborough rapes with the murders in St. Catharines.
Yeah.
So she wants to get ahead of this.
Yeah, she thinks she's going to get away and just blame it all on him, huh?
So she ends up telling her Uncle Paul that not only was Paul the Scarborough rapist, but that he killed Kristen French and Leslie Mahaffey.
Oh.
The hammer's going to drop, buddy.
Yeah.
So Carla gets ahead of all of this, okay? So instead of her being the subject of the investigation along with Paul, she's going to be the battered
victim.
wife.
Yeah, she's
the
the
victim.
victim in this whole thing. Yeah. Yeah.
She gets herself a real good lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
As a veterinary assistant, Carla had taken special care of a dog of a lawyer, George Walker. So well known.
Okay.
Over a period of many interviews with Carla, George realized that she was not necessarily the innocent victim of Paul Bernardo that she painted herself to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he really didn't understand at that point like what her role had been.
Right.
He just knew that he was not buying her story.
Right. Okay.
What did she want? She wants complete immunity to testify against Paul.
Oh, of course. That's what they all want.
This makes you want to cry. Like, it really does. This is so horrible.
Be prepared.
But he didn't know that if he could get her complete immunity, but he's going to try. Of course he's going to try. He's got to do what's best for his client, right?
Yeah, that's how it works.
In mid-February now, Bernardo was arrested in conjunction with both the Scarborough rapes and the murders of Mahaffey and French.
Okay.
On February 19th, police executed the search warrant for Paul and Carla's house and found an amazing amount of evidence.
Okay.
Paul had written a description of every one of the Scarborough rapes,
Oh, really?
plus an extensive library of books of videos on sexual deviation, violent pornography, and serial killers, of course. 170 days they searched his house.
What?
Yeah,
170 days they searched
something
his
like that. Like 150, 170, yeah. They searched his house.
That's like almost half a year.
Yeah, it really is. The police, they just knew there was something they were missing. There was something they were missing. The police also found one brief home video that indicated that there had been one more victim in the Bernardo household, that Jane Doe, when they taped her.
Yeah.
They didn't know who this woman was. The short video showed Carla as an enthusiastic lesbian in sexual acts with two other women also. A week later, George Walker and Murray Siegel, a plea bargain specialist for the Attorney General, discussed the deal for Carla.
Okay.
Carla would get 12 years in prison for each of the two victims.
12 years, that's it?
And the sentences would be served concurrently, buddy.
What?
That means at the same time.
Yeah.
So she would be...
Wait. So she would get 12 years for each. So she's only serving 12 years and that's it.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a lawyer.
Guess what? She would be eligible for parole, buddy.
When?
3 years with good behavior.
She would only serve 3 years?
She could. She could only serve 3 years with good behavior. The government even agreed to contact the parole board on Carla's behalf, pointing out to them the importance of her testimony against Paul.
But she...
And, buddy, this is the best part. They're going to even try and get her to serve her time in a psychiatric hospital instead of a prison.
Oh, my God.
Because she's been horribly abused by Paul.
Yeah.
Anything that she did, 100% was because she was so terrified for her life, buddy.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. I'm buying it. That was sarcasm in case you couldn't get there.
Oh, no, I got it. In exchange for this leniency, Carla would agree to tell the absolute truth about her involvement in the crimes. In exchange for this leniency, Carla agreed to tell the absolute truth about her involvement in the crimes and everything else she knew about them.
The absolute truth, huh?
Carla agreed unconditionally. So if she caught lying about anything, then the deal was off.
And this is in print, so no matter what she says,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, if she says whatever.
it doesn't matter. She gets the sentence.
No, I'm saying if she testifies and then she's found to be untruthful, the deal's off.
Right. But so she can just as long as she's being truthful.
Yeah, this is her sentence.
This is her sentence.
Yeah. In early March, Carla was checked into a psychiatric hospital for assessment. She was given heavy doses of drugs and then insisted on being giving larger doses because she had been self-medicating already. Eventually, Carla got up the nerve to write a letter to her parents. Would you like to read this or hear this letter, buddy?
Yes, for the viewers, absolutely.
Dear Mom, Dad, and Lori, this is the hardest letter I've ever had to write. And you'll probably all hate me once you've read it.
I could imagine.
I've kept this inside myself for so long, and I just can't lie to you anymore. Both Paul and I are responsible for Tammy's death. Paul was in love with her and wanted to have sex with her. He wanted me to help him. He wanted me to get sleeping pills from work to drug her. He threatened me and physically and emotionally abused me when I refused. No words I can say can make you understand what he put me through. So stupidly, I agreed to do as he said. But something, maybe the combination of drugs and the food she ate that night, caused her to vomit. I tried so hard to save her. I'm so sorry. But no words I can say can bring her back. I would gladly give my life for hers. I don't expect you to ever forgive me, for I will never forgive myself. Carla, XOXO.
XOXO.
Of course.
I call bullshit.
Unbelievable, right?
That's horrible.
Can you imagine reading that?
That's tragic. That's like,
wow. Oh, God. This drives me nuts, dude.
Yeah.
Carla's trial was, to say the least, a media frenzy.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So what they do is she has this deal, but then all the evidence is put out, and it's like a trial, even though you know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
The deal's already made, but it's not. It must be different than in America where you have a deal. There's no trial if you have a deal. I'm guessing this is how it goes. Because this is how it went.
Yeah, okay.
Her psychiatric report helped set the stage for the plea bargain deal. Dr. Good Old Malcolm, the psychologist, concluded that Carla knew what was happening, but she felt totally helpless and unable to act in her own defense.
Oh, okay.
Or in anyone else's defense.
Yeah.
She was, in my opinion, paralyzed with fear, and in that state became obedient and self-serving. I don't buy even a single word of that.
No, I don't buy it at all. No, she did something to that doctor to get him to write that.
She's a psychopath. She has a 134 IQ. She's very smart.
Yeah.
Very cunning. I gotta give her that.
Yeah.
Very cunning. At the end of the trial, the media people left. And they were only allowed to report a few of the details. So they put this on lockdown, buddy.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to taint Paul's trial.
Yep.
So they could not even report anything about it. Only American journalists could.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they could not say anything that happened in the trial because they didn't want to taint it for Paul.
They don't have freedom of the press in Canada?
They're allowed to do like a lockdown, temporary lockdown until Paul's trial is over yet.
Gotcha.
Expecting a public outcry over the plea bargain, Murray Siegel chose to make a statement. You want to hear it?
Absolutely. Let's hear it.
Why not a greater penalty in light of these horrendous acts? Well, without her, the true state of affairs might never have been known. A guilty plea is the traditional hallmark of remorse. Her age, her lack of criminal record, the abuse and the influence of her husband, and her somewhat secondary roles were factors. She's unlikely to reoffend.
Yeah, right. I don't buy it.
Oh, of course not. Neither do I.
No.
Not even a little. It's crazy.
All right, so we haven't gotten to the sentencing yet, right?
No, she gets sentenced 12 years.
That's it. So she's
just got to testify against Paul. That's all that's left.
So
it's done.
So
Buddy, it's done.
She's already out then, right?
You want to hear? You want to wait or no?
That's what I'm asking. We haven't gotten there yet, right?
Oh, no, she's not out yet. No, this is just the beginning.
That's what I'm wondering. I mean, as time
She got 12 years. Now she's out, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Right now, she's out.
Oh, yeah, right now she's out.
Yeah. So she's out. So
I thought you meant in the story. I'm sorry. So she's out, living her best life.
my God, all the
But
things
she still
she
has
did.
to testify against Paul. Okay, this is important.
Okay.
Trial of Paul Bernardo was delayed for 2 years after his arrest. Want to know why, buddy? Want to know why?
I do want to know why.
Okay. One of the reasons for the delay was that Bernardo had placed his first lawyer in an unenviable situation.
Okay.
Bernardo had given Murray the videotapes that he and Carla had made of their adventures.
Oh.
Where were these videotapes, buddy, you ask?
Where were they?
I'll answer you right now, I'll tell you.
Oh, well, thank you.
In the house that they searched for 170 days.
Really?
Yeah.
And they didn't find him?
You know, like, in the bathroom, they'll have, like, the tile you can reach up above the lights?
Yeah, absolutely.
There they were.
They searched 170 days and didn't find him?
This lawyer's in quite a pickle.
Yeah.
Because he's got these videotapes. Paul told him, don't watch them, but he does.
Okay.
He knows what's on them now.
Yeah.
He's like, literally said, this is eating me alive. I can't talk to anybody about this. I don't know what to do. He's not even a criminal lawyer, this guy. He's like a freaking tax attorney or something. I don't know. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not
Yeah.
familiar with this. He doesn't even know what to do. However, the prosecutors knew of the videotapes from Carla.
Okay.
And they wiretapped, I don't know how this is legal, but they wiretapped the conversations with Bernardo.
Okay.
Eventually, the pressure got to him. And he just gives over the tapes
Good.
and stops being his lawyer. He said, I'm done being his lawyer. Screw this.
Good.
So the videotapes were turned over to the prosecutors. Okay, now I just want you to understand the importance of this, buddy.
Okay.
If he had given up the videotapes a year and a half ago, they would have never even needed Carla. He had the tapes this whole time.
Oh, really?
So this is while that's going on with Carla. So if he had just given up the tapes in the beginning, they both would have been life sentences.
nailed. Wow.
So he has to live with that.
Wow.
He truly did not know what to do, and I know that if this is, we were talking about this before, if this was me or you,
Yeah.
I don't care, consequences be damned, I'm giving over the tapes. I have a daughter.
In this situation, in a situation like when you put it to me, the way you put it to me, I was like, ethically bound. I don't know where I would stand, but in this situation, I would absolutely turn over the tapes.
I know you would. I know you would.
There's no question about it. Especially if I watched even that first video. I mean, no, I don't want these.
He said that it scarred him to this day watching those tapes.
Oh yeah, I couldn't even imagine.
Like, I just can't imagine, like, you see in movies, like, people getting hurt and, like, bad things happening. You can see pretty graphic stuff.
Yeah.
But to actually see
Real things.
a couple just torturing these women, torturing them.
Yeah.
Urinating on them, calling them names, raping them over, sodomizing them over, and then not giving them up immediately. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Yeah, that's horrible.
I mean, that guy's got to live with it.
Yep.
He's got to live with it.
Yep. And this woman gets to live her regular life, being a vet tech or whatever she's got. I'm assuming she's not a vet tech anymore.
No, definitely not.
She's probably flipping burgers.
So in May of 1995.
Not that there's anything against flipping burgers.
Yeah, nothing against I flipped burgers before.
I never flip burgers. I definitely have some crappy jobs.
Actually, I liked it. Really quick pace. The day goes by fast.
Yeah.
In May of 1995, Bernardo's trial begins. And the videotapes are a critical piece of evidence, buddy.
Yeah, I can imagine.
They didn't even need Carla at this point.
No.
You know what I mean? It's like the jig is up.
Yeah.
Bernardo faced 2 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of aggravated sexual assault, 2 counts of forcible confinement, 2 counts of kidnapping, and 1 count of performing an indignity on a human body.
Really?
That's the urinating and defecating.
Yeah. That's not even enough, in my opinion.
No, I know. It's like, but they have him red-handed.
Yeah.
If they had these freaking videotapes, oh my God, it drives me nuts.
Yeah. That's horrible.
Oh. Well, they had to do a little bit of, what's it called? Damage control now.
Yeah.
Because it's out that they gave a deal to this woman. It's done.
Yeah.
And now they're going through this trial.
Yeah.
This is a quote. For a public who has been denied access to information revealed at Karla Homolka's trial almost 2 years earlier, the day-long opening address of lead prosecutor Ray Houlihan was a relentless avalanche of sexual degradation, brutality, and murder. In painstaking detail, Houlihan described the Crown's belief that Paul had first dominated Karla, reducing her to a compliant victim through systematic physical and mental abuse, then used her to exploit his fantasies in the rape of Tammy Homolka, a rape in which Karla participated. Unable to shake free of Paul's violent control and scared he would reveal her role in Tammy's death to her parents, Karla then took part in the rapes and murders of Kristen French and Leslie Mahaffey. The Crown prosecutor began with a segment showing Karla Homolka naked, masturbating with the camera focused on her vagina.
Jeez.
It's so horrible. Like, they show these tapes in court.
Oh, my God.
And then, like, only the jury's allowed to see the actual tapes.
Oh, I can't even imagine being that jury.
But, like, everybody in the courtroom's crying.
Yeah.
Even the people that just can hear it. They're
Yeah.
hearing these screams for help.
Oh, my God.
So sad. Like, that's your last... It's horrible. It really is
I
horrible.
couldn't even imagine being that. Oh.
It really is horrible. So the tapes were clearly geared to excite Bernardo.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Karla talking about getting 13-year-old virgin for him to rape.
Jeez. What a sick, twisted couple.
Yeah,
It's horrible.
it is like... I don't know. So they were at least successful in showing the defense that Karla to be completely complicit in this and with no remorse for her crimes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like in the videos, Karla's telling Paul what to do, not the other way around.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable. Like, she's like,
She's the mastermind behind it?
yeah, she's pulling the strings.
Yeah.
So on September 1st, 1995, buddy, Bernardo was convicted on all the charges against him regarding the kidnappings, rapes, and murders of Leslie Mahaffey and Kristen French. He also faced trials in the death of Tammy Homolka and the series of rapes in Scarborough.
Mm-hmm.
Under Canadian law, Bernardo can apply for parole after 25 years in prison.
Well, you better not get it.
June 21st, 2021, he has his parole hearing.
That's not too far off.
No, not too far off at all.
June 20... That's
8
only
days away.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's only a few days. Actually, you're going to be hearing this only like the next day. It's going to be tomorrow.
Yeah, for you guys, it'll be
It's
tomorrow.
going to be tomorrow.
It's like a time machine.
That's
So
crazy.
Tammy moves to Guadalupe in Barbados, like down in the islands.
Wow. Good for her.
She's living her best life. She's married with children.
Really. Good for her. I'm glad she can move on with her life.
I don't care if she never commits another crime again. So many people are so mad about this. Like,
Yeah.
she had to change her name, and then they found out her name. She had death threats against her. It was
Good.
unbelievable. Oh, yeah, definitely good. And she's like going and volunteering at her kid's school, and they find out who she is, and they tell her, we don't want you hearing shit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, her poor kids, though. I mean, oh my God. What the... That woman doesn't deserve anything.
F Karla Homolka. That's all I'm going to say, buddy, because this woman is pure evil. She had everything to do with this,
Yes.
and she got off with 12 years.
Yeah, she's the mastermind behind this, in my opinion. I mean, he's obviously just as evil, but she deserved just as much sentencing, if not more.
Exactly. Like, I really believe that he would have been a rapist, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he would have killed if he hadn't met her.
He may have not crossed that line. Who knows? He was just a psychotic rapist.
More often than not, rapists just continue raping until they get caught.
If he didn't meet her, he may have raped more, but he eventually would have been caught for the
The DNA?
yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Oh my God.
So what do you think about this case, buddy? Pretty angering, right?
This is extremely angering and extremely disgusting. Like, I'm disturbed. I don't know if I'm going to sleep tonight, man.
I know, buddy. I'm like, can you like... I'm watching an interview. Oh my God, I watched so much. I did so much research for this episode, buddy. Like they are doing interviews with him, and like he's so pissed that she got off with 12 years.
Yeah, I can imagine.
That he's like, all he wants to talk about is like how Carla got off so easy, and like they want him to connect him to other crimes, and he's willing to do that. But he wants them to like try and get Carla, but they can't get her for nothing. She got complete immunity against anything that she did while she's with him.
Yeah, absolutely. She had that deal signed.
She's so smart. I got to give her that. Cunning is the word. Cunning.
Yeah. Remove a lot of that and put a T there.
Yeah, I know. I really can't believe it, buddy. I really can't believe it's just like the other case we did. The sex slave murders.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Oh my God.
It's horrible, man.
It really is.
Yeah, this was one for the books, man. This is definitely a case that, I mean, some of them I not that I didn't enjoy this one, but some of them I'm like, yeah, let's get into this. Let's do this. This one just disturbed me.
Yeah,
I hope you guys. I hope you enjoyed it out there. I really do. But man, I cringed. At some points I wanted to stop the episode.
It's just. Words cannot express how this changes a community.
Yeah.
This changes so many people's lives. Like not only the women that died, the girls that died, I should say.
Yeah, they're all
but the
young.
ones that were raped. I mean, this is like, I can't even imagine. People probably don't even want to talk about this anymore around there.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know, imagine. But I'm just saying. Like,
I'm sure they want to forget it. There's no question about it.
I mean, and these parents of Kristen and Leslie are pissed.
Yeah.
You know, they want blood, which I don't blame them.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
And they go to the parole hearings and they beg them, please don't let Paul out, please. Yeah. And I don't think he'll be released.
I don't think so either.
But he's like, I'm reformed. He said, I did it because I had a low self-esteem. That's what he says.
Yeah. How could you have low self-esteem? I mean, you looked like a Ken doll. You were just a psycho. That's it.
Yeah, he was diagnosed as being a sexual sadist psychopath.
Yeah.
That's the case of the Ken and Barbie killers.
Yeah.
On a lighter note, folks, I hate to switch like this, but I just can't think of a better way to do it. Buddy and I made a Patreon.
Yes, we did.
If you want to support us and our work that we put into this, Buddy and I put a lot of work into this. If you want to support us, go to patreon.com and look for Murder Incorporated Pod, right, buddy?
Yep.
And there's different tiers that you can do. You can do it as low as $4 a month.
You could become a Murder
Incorporated Associate at $4 a month.
Yep.
Or Murder Incorporated Executive at $8 a month, right?
Yep. Or you could become the CEO.
CEO. Take over. For $18 a month.
Yeah, you can get a nice little package.
And we will be giving gifts with each tier. You get different gifts.
Yep.
We're going to be releasing episodes that only can be listened to on Patreon.
Yes, absolutely.
We're going to be putting videos on Patreon that can only be seen on Patreon.
Yep.
And if anybody, I don't even know, anybody wants to do one-on-ones, one-on-twos with Buddy and I, we're going to have them on there.
That's right.
We'll answer all questions on there.
Yep, absolutely.
And it's really just a way to show that, you appreciate the show and the work that we put into it.
Yeah, we really like to hear from you and really like to just know that our fans really appreciate what we do out there, And just so you know, 10% of anything that we make goes to the
Cold Case Foundation.
Cold Case Foundation, absolutely.
So. And after we donate to the Cold Case Foundation, we're going to find other charities to donate to.
Yeah. Yep.
And this is something that means a lot to Billy and I. We're not trying to get rich here.
No.
You know what I mean? It's just something that shows us that you appreciate it. That's all it is.
Yep.
That's all it is.
Absolutely.
More than the money, it'd just be cool to know people actually care, that people appreciate what we put in. It's a lot of work,
Yeah, absolutely.
And I love doing it, and so does Buddy, but it is a lot of work.
Yeah, we have a blast doing it, but we definitely put in a lot of work to it. A lot of work, a lot of effort, And we'd love to know that you guys appreciate what we do.
Yeah, definitely. So reach out.
Yeah.
And, even if you have anything to say about the Patreon or the episodes, you can write us at
murderincorporatedpod@gmail.com, or you can tweet us at
Murder Inc. Pod.
Yep. Check us out on YouTube.
Yep.
Or Instagram.
Yep. Just search Murder Incorporated Pod.
Yeah. That's it.
And thank you, folks. Is there anything that else that you have, buddy, for anybody today?
Yeah. Just remember, don't forget, tell the ones you hold dear that you love them.
I'm leaving that in, too.
Thank you for listening to Believe. You can show support to your host by subscribing to the show and giving us a 5-star rating on your preferred platform. Check us out at Believe.com and search for BLEAV on YouTube.